Factories are shut. Mines are shut. Coal's running out. Did you ever consider the possibility that the communists might win? And you and me, traitors to our class, will be put up against a wall and shot.
As a businessman, consider all possibilities. But Mr. Devlin, I'm not a traitor to my class. I am just an extreme example of what a working man can achieve.
Yeah.
To the Offbeat Podcast, a podcast about music and everything in and around it. My name is Rick. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Today we've got a couple folks on the couch. We've got a little remix, as always. To my left, we have Shannon.
What up, y'all?
Shannon O. No, I'm not going to let that one go. It's there now. Mm-hmm. So I'm sorry.
Oh, Shannon O.
Shannon O. O-face. And then, just in case y'all forgot, I just want to make sure. Over to my right, we have Xander.
Good evening, everyone.
And then, ladies and gentlemen, our first female guest, un aplauso. Hey. We have Jalissa over here on the couch. Jalissa, thank you for coming through. Appreciate it. Absolute pleasure to have you here. With the guys on the couch, doing what we do, talking shit like always, because that's what we do.
Topical.
Topical. We have had...
That's the word of the day.
Topical.
We have had some heated debates here lately on the couch. There was some interesting topics that we were discussing. I don't want to rehash too much. But certainly, I think the reason why our guest Jalissa is a great fit is because, like us, we have a common thread in, growing up Christian, probably growing up kind of like, what's the English equivalent of rajatabla? I've never actually had to translate
Legalistic.
that. Legalistic. Okay, yeah, that's a
good one.
Yeah, it doesn't sound as threatening, though.
Rajatabla is like the slang word of...
Right.
I don't know. There isn't a slang word in English. I don't believe.
Because it used to say
fire and brimstone doesn't do it.
Okay, but you're in the ballpark.
Yikes!
But it doesn't do
that sounds aggressive.
Yeah. Well, I mean, rajatabla.
Yeah.
Also aggressive.
Can you explain what that means for people that don't speak Spanish?
Actually, also for people who didn't go to church.
Exactly.
So basically, the idea was you're going to church and hey, Jesus loves you. And he's here for you. But also, if you don't follow these rules, you're going to hell. Straight to hell. And like, if I close my eyes, I can picture many, many, many different preachers coming through when I was a kid, just yelling. I'm not going to do it, but like holding the mic like this, like really just getting into it and like laying into people like you're a sinner. You know what I'm saying? And like, obviously I'm like, super stereotyping here. There was shades of intensity there, I guess. But that's kind of a summary of like that type of preacher, I guess, evangelist, if you will. You know, like convicting people, like, kind of like by force a little bit, by like super guilt tripping people.
By fear,
By fear. Yeah, I grew up with a lot of fear, man.
A ton of fear. Yep.
Damn, you know what you just reminded me of? This is super random and embarrassing. But like I would hear a noise that sounded like kind of like a trumpet.
And didn't you like start to shake?
I would be so scared.
Because I'm like, what is the last thing I did that was wrong?
You
know what I'm saying? Like, was it really bad or?
Are my parents here?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
The rapture. Oh, yo, just so scared. And then like it's so unfortunate that I spent so much of my youth like with that kind of energy around of like fear. But then at the same time, again, we're jumping right in, you guys. At the same time, having like this idea or ideology of like a loving father who loves you and welcomes you with open arms, right? It's very juxtaposed, like type of like energy. And it wasn't unfortunately until much later in my life that I realized like, okay, well, love is love, man. You know, all that other stuff is kind of just man-made stuff that really got in the way. I didn't, you know, it's really hard to see for people who are very entrenched parents.
Yep. So my husband and I were actually having this conversation the other day because he's not a believer, and he met me when I was going to church. He attempted to join the church with me. He was in the when he was in the army. He was one of his captains like took him to church, and he ended up giving his life to Christ. And he got baptized while he was in the army. So he knows of the word, but he left the church, and then he just kind of never looked back. And so when he met me, and I, you know, he was like, I'll go with you. And, you know, he kind of started coming with me. He's like, I can't do it. I can't look past all the things that you have to ignore to be a Christian. And he's like, you know, I think that you aren't the norm, like speaking of me, of people who grow up in church and aren't these like people. Yeah, like I can't find a word for it. Like my goal, yeah, like my goal was to find the right word for it because like this isn't a thing. But and I guess I'm not. You know what I mean? Like I grew up very Pentecostal. I was the girl at the bus stop with ankle-length skirts in below zero weather. I got out of gym class because my pastor wrote me a note stating that I couldn't change and wear pants for gym, so I never did gym, which was like a blessing. But also, like I was the girl who was looked at twice. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't wear jeans till I was 22 years old. I have 6 tattoos now. My mom chased me with a broom when she found out. You know what I'm saying? Like she is, and when she came to church with me after I left the church I grew up in, and I started going to a different church, she went with me, and she was like, all of these people are going to hell. All of them. Every single person. How dare you go onto the altar of the Lord in pants? Bless her soul. Yeah. But like, like, and she's still there sometimes, like even like with certain things that I wear, and maybe it's because I'm a girl, and that's a whole different topic, which I was really hoping you guys would get into in like the first 2 episodes, and I'm like, none of them have brought it up. But I think specifically Puerto Rican culture almost like mixes our machismo with religion, and it makes it like one thing, and it infuriated my existence when I was younger that I had to like spend my summers inside because girls belong inside and boys go outside. And like when I wanted to go somewhere, my mom's like, no, you're a girl. Like you stay here. To do what? Wash the wall for the 19th time? Like it's clean, I swear. There's nothing on it. And like we go back and have these conversations, and she's like, well, you're fine now. Everything's fine. And I'm like, am I though? Am I really?
Everything worked out.
You know what I mean? Like, am I really? But yeah, it's definitely interesting.
There's a lot there.
Yeah.
There's a lot there.
Yes. Going back to what she was saying, the machismo part, which is something that's very true. The male rajatabla can get away with a lot.
Oh my gosh, dude.
In the church atmosphere. And like you said, it's one of those things that it's not just Latinos. I'm looking about it for even Muslims or I don't know, American Christian. It just seems that the guy, the man of the house, he gets away with a lot more than what the female counterpart can get away with. So when you said, I wish these guys would touch that subject, what subject exactly were you specifically talking about?
I guess like the difference, because you have sisters.
I do.
The difference of how like women are treated in comparison to men. Because there was a major difference. I have a lot of siblings. I'm the youngest of 13. Like there's a lot of us.
Yeah.
God bless.
And so there was a very clear line that my parents drew, even in like their first marriages where they had like my first set of siblings, to like my mom and my dad raising us. Like my dad had a very noticeable line when it came to what my sister and I could do versus what my brothers could do. And we felt it a lot of the time. And like we had to be home by a certain time. I didn't have sleepovers. I needed to like act a certain way when I was around family and stuff. And so like there was just a very clear difference. And when I had the courage to ask why, because that's also not something that you could do, like even in the church, like question, they would be like, because you're a girl, and because I said so, and because this is where God wants you to be, which was my favorite answer of the three. Like, this is where, like, he told you he wants me right here.
Wow.
And so there was always like, I don't know, I guess the best way to explain it was like a very clear line, like a very clear difference between how we were treated. And you know, like I said, my mom kind of jokes and she's like, you're fine, you're an adult, you went to college, like look at your life, like you're okay. But I'm not. And I make an active, I am okay. But like I make an active choice every single day to not raise my daughter with that mindset of like, you're a girl, so this is your box. Like this is where you stay, and because this is where the Lord wants you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not, it's not okay.
Okay, yes.
That was a lot. I'm sorry.
No.
Keep it, please.
No, again, yes, I wanted to see where you were coming from, because we all grew up in the church here, and we saw that firsthand.
Absolutely.
We saw it firsthand, and we seen the trauma it caused these females. You know, and that's the part that a lot of these parents do not realize, because they're thinking, we're doing the right thing, right, pastor? We're raising. They asked the pastor, but it was like, how about you ask your daughter, who is going through trauma and is probably sneaking out, seeing whoever it is behind your back, rather than having a conversation with your daughter about, hey, mom, I like this boy. He's whatever age. What do you think? A girl with that type of fear with the parents will never do that.
Never. I
You
never.
know?
Spot on.
I couldn't even think the thought. I thought the Lord would spite me.
And if something would have happened to that girl and get pregnant, the parent would be like, oh my God, I fell as a parent, blah, 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 God, what have I done? And it's like, yo, a conversation could have saved that. But your whole, and that's the part that I have an issue with, is that religion gets put in front before family. And that's the part that I had a very big issue with, because like you said, it's like, why can I do this, Dad? Oh, because God doesn't want you to. It was like, can I do it, Dad? Do you think I should do it?
Right.
Do you think it is like, no, it's not what I think, it's what God thinks. And that's the part that I'm just like, oh, damn.
That's hard for a lot of people.
It is, because when can you be a parent because of how you want to raise your kid? Not because of how you should, like you're saying, raise your kid. And that's the problem that I always have a battle with. And again, I can't tell somebody else how to raise their kids ever in my life. I'm never going to do that. I can only have an opinion on it, and that's as close as I can get. So, and that's my part.
Wow. There's a lot there, man. There's a lot there.
I mean, the podcast can just keep going with this, and I don't want it to.
No, I get it. I get it.
You know what I mean?
I think this is obvious, right? Because there's, you know, our demographic speaks to a certain demographic,
of course,
both in age and how we grew up and whatnot. So I know there's plenty of people out there whose stories resound with the stories that we're sharing. You know, the stories that you were talking about yourself, I lived all of those in my mind as you were saying them through my sisters, because my sisters grew up with a lot of what you were saying. Like, I'm like, yep, I remember that. And I think it's just the personal agency thing that, I mean, often gets discarded. Xander, to your point about, you know, dad instructing a kid versus just, well, the Bible says, like, and just like giving up entirely, right? And I think that's the part that maybe got lost. And so now, you know, our generation, you know, we see that, and we're starting to change some of those behaviors that were, you know, quite frankly, bad. They hurt a lot of people, you know, traumatized a lot of both men and women. You know, so hopefully we can do better. That's the goal, certainly. Shannon?
I mean, you guys brought up a lot of great topics. I've never really viewed it that way. I grew up in a household of, it's just me and my brother. So the perspective of, I mean, I've seen it, but I haven't really seen it from the perspective of someone that I know, like, and talked about it. I'm like, oh, how come, whatever reason, you know, guys do this. But, you know, I grew up, not necessarily, the church I grew up, it wasn't crazy legalistic.
No, it wasn't. You could wear pants.
Yeah. I mean,
earrings, makeup.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people that grew up in like hard arty, like they can't even shave their legs. Like women can't shave, like, which I don't even want to get into it. But it's wild. But I mean, really, what it comes down to, a lot of people have trauma because of growing up in those type of households and that type of rajatablaness. It's a word for you.
It's a beautiful adjective, man. I appreciate it. All right, well, to Xander's point, yeah, we could certainly spend plenty. We could start a whole nother podcast about this, actually.
Yes.
Just talking about this and kind of like commiserating with all the people out there who dealt with all of this stuff. Let's see. I think between the last time we recorded and this pod, we had the unfortunate storm that hit Puerto Rico. And from what I read, it sounded like it wasn't so much the hurricane, but more so the water that caused like the most amount of damage. So shout out to all the people in La Isla de Puerto Rico.
Yes.
Our hearts and thoughts go out to you. I wish we could give you more than thoughts and prayers.
Yes.
It feels so empty sometimes when I say that. Like this could sound so shallow, guys. I'm sorry, but like I shared like a post of somebody like, hey, Puerto Rico, they need your help, blah blah blah. And then like 5 minutes later, whatever the thing that happens in your brain that's like, I'm gonna go on Instagram again and funny post, share. And so then I'm like, wait, super serious post followed by funny meme. I'm like, nope, I can't do it. I felt like a hypocrite. Because I'm like, I didn't mean that share. I'm like, who is this for? Is it for me, for my own personal clout? Or is it because I really care? I don't know. It's weird internet bullshit.
No, I've done that too. I'm like, this is a little bit serious. Let me hold on posting my funny video.
Right? Yeah. It just does. It feels empty. It feels empty when you do it. Because it's like your heart's in the right place, but like, there's just so much like fake. I care because I like this post. That's the extent of what I'm willing to do. Like. Right, donate some money, guys. How about that? Let your like meet some action here and actually donate some money.
I would say at the very least you shared it. So whatever it is, if that led to another actionable item by someone else, I feel like it all kind of washes.
I guess you're right.
At the end.
I guess you're right.
So wait a minute, because social media, I'm just seeing it as that is social media.
Yeah.
I don't think I posted, I did my part. Puerto Rico needs help. By the way, of course it needs help, and I would love to do everything I can. But it's social media, so you put a story or whatever, and that's what I'm saying. It reminds me of that meme that says, you post something about whatever it is that's happening, so you did your part, type of thing. Like you guys said, I can't put something funny after that. It's not that whatever you posted is funny. It's just. So what do you have? You have to wait a day or two or something to put? I don't understand. Why is that you can't put? It's your social media. You hey, Puerto Rico, obviously right now. Yeah. And shout out to all my family in Puerto Rico, by the way. They're all safe, which is good to hear. But it's like it's social media. You're not being.
I know you're not. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It's just one of those like you get in your own head about it. Like.
I guess I guess.
Do I really care? I mean, I do care, obviously. But yeah. Actually, I heard it was a troubling statistic. It was something like 50 or 60% of the U.S. Like it was like one of those millions of polls. You've heard them. The amount of people who did not know that that Puerto Rico is part of the U.S. was like astonishing. Like it was an extremely high number. I want to say it was 50 or 60% of like U.S. citizens. It's depressing.
I cannot say I'm shocked.
I was shocked at that before. I would have been shocked at that before, but then I realized that obviously we're Puerto Rican. Or I'm Puerto Rican. You're Puerto Rican? All right,
yes.
Everyone's Puerto Rican. But the Puerto Rican demographic in this area is so heavy that if you go to like Idaho, you're not finding a lot of Puerto Ricans. I went to Arizona once, a heavy Mexican population, no Puerto Ricans. So I say that to say that Puerto Ricans kind of just stick together. Like Western Mass, we're here. New York, we're there. Kissimmee, Florida, we're there. Like,
Yes.
but if you go to rural town, Kansas City, there's probably like 4 Puerto Ricans there. So it's not surprising that, and I guess in this area, more people would know, I think, here because they're surrounded by a lot of Puerto Ricans. So at a point in their life, Puerto Ricans be like, no, Puerto Rico's part of the U.S.
Yes.
It's a territory. But in Des Moines, Iowa,
Yeah, they probably. I guess that makes sense, especially like, granted, Puerto Rico, like size wise, is like so tiny, right? So I get why maybe people might be like, and I'm not saying it's okay, right? I'm just saying like it's very easy to like overlook one of many islands in the Caribbean. You know what I mean? Like, oh, it's just one of those other islands down there. They always get hit by hurricanes. It's unfortunate. It really is.
I will say this. We're talking about sharing and helping Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico makes millions of dollars off their tourism.
Yes.
So if you're watching this, we're talking about the Fiona hurricane. Yes, a lot of places were devastated by the hurricane and water. There's still a lot of places that aren't. So once everything gets settled, plan a trip to Puerto Rico, give them your vacation dollars. You're going to have a beautiful time.
And go get lost. I think when we went to Puerto Rico after Maria, and there was like a very obvious place where we got to where you knew where the government stopped wasting money. Like you knew it, you could see it. Like it was like tourism stops here. And so what we did instead, our hotel was in San Juan, but we ended up renting a car, and I have an aunt who lives on a mountaintop in the middle of Sidra. So we went and got lost, and we went over there and we invested a lot of our money out in the middle of nowhere where they needed it, and where they would tell us that sometimes they wake up with water and sometimes they don't. So don't be afraid to get lost. Yes. Don't stop at stop signs either.
Don't stop at the red lights.
Don't
after
do that.
10 o'clock, after dark, don't do that.
No.
But, I mean, you can go to San Juan, which is the most touristic part of Puerto Rico, but there's so many other gems in Puerto Rico.
The best food is in
the best food.
The best food.
I was watching, I follow a lot of, like, Puerto Rico Instagram talking about vacation, and I saw a post that they were comparing, like, beaches that are famous around the world, and saying like we have something similar to that in Puerto Rico, and we're talking about beaches like at different parts of the world, like Hawaii, wherever,
other tropical places.
Tropical places. But just to say that Puerto Rico has a little bit of everything, and not a lot of people know that you can go there without a passport and have a fantastic time. I love it. I go every year.
Man, I'm so jealous. I haven't been in years, dude. I gotta go. I gotta take wifey there.
Do it.
We haven't been.
It has been nice to see people posting how they're helping each other. Like I had someone post like a man holding a sign that said like, come to my house for coffee and bread. Wow. And it's just been, and like a lot of the same thing happened after Maria, which is so nice to see, because I think all we hear is like statistics about the crime rate and how murder is really high and like all this negative stuff when Puerto Rico's on the news. But it's such a community, and you feel it when you go. Like the people, my aunt has a neighbor right down the road who's like, do you need some sugar? I'll bring you some sugar. And it's like, it's very like home,
very homey. Very.
And we don't talk about that enough, and we should, because it's important.
That's definitely lost over here in American culture.
Absolutely.
Everyone is so like, don't mess with me, I won't mess with you.
I'll tell you this, and I forget every time I'm there, and I feel like such an American. Like everywhere you go, if you're sitting down at a mom and pop shop eating food, someone walks in to get their food, buen provecho. They don't know you from a hole in the wall.
Yep.
And then you go play basketball court. Someone new comes to the court, they dap everyone up.
Yep.
They don't know you. So like I forget when I'm there, so I just show up and sit down. Very American of me. So like, and I'm talking about anywhere. You go to a barbershop, someone walks in, they'll dap you up. What's up? They don't know you.
Yep.
But that doesn't happen here. You go to a barbershop, everyone's on their phone, kind of just doing their own thing. So the Puerto Ricans in Puerto Rico are a different caliber than the Americanized Puerto Ricans here, which I feel like we're a little bit more rude, Americanized. Over there it's completely different, and it's always fun to feel that when you're there. You feel that embrace. You're like, man, this is different.
Yeah, man. Wow.
I love it.
You're bringing me to the island in spirit, brother.
Yeah, man. It's great.
There was some, this is fairly recent, I feel like, but there was like a little bit of beef going on between like, you know, true Puerto Ricans from the island. Like, oh, you can't say you're a Boricua if you're living in the States. Y'all heard about this? I think even Fat Joe got in on this. Y'all heard about this?
I've heard of it.
Who? What is the debate?
It
I'm
was,
sorry,
it
go
was
ahead.
like, so the abridged version is something like, you're in the States, therefore you are not a true Boricua, right? So it was like PR island elitism, right? Kind of like what's the gatekeeping the term Boricua to the island folks versus you're from New York, you're New Yorican, you know. But like you're not allowed to use the phrase I'm a Boricua, right? That was kind of the argument kind of going back and forth.
That's just so ridiculous to me because I'm Boricua and I take that with me wherever I am. I don't have to stay stagnant in a place to be considered a real Boricua. That's just ignorant to me. One. And two, who the hell are you to tell me what I am? It's like, yeah, you're not a true Boricua because you live in the United States. I get the whole, because we're going back to what Shannon's saying, anything Americanized is very bougie. It's just, whenever you hear something Western or Americanized, it gets gentrified, it always has this, it was, like I said, the real Puerto Ricans and the not so real Puerto Ricans. What made that? Like, what exactly made you feel that way to say, I am a higher Puerto Rican than you if I live over here in the States?
Tier list.
Yeah, I don't understand. What does that do to your character exactly? Like, is it your ego? Is it your, I don't get it. Going back, like I said, Shannon was saying, is that it's here in the States it happens a lot. In Puerto Rico, I don't really see that. If you guys see it when you go back, like you said, everybody shakes their hands. But over here, if I go to a barbershop and I know you, I shake your hand. If I don't know you, it's like, boom, I sit down.
I hear it in the sense of kidding around with like people I know in Puerto Rico. Oh, I think gringo.
Yes.
That part.
Right.
Like, we're gringo. That de Nueva York.
Yeah, de afuera.
So, yeah. So,
I
like,
definitely got that a lot growing up.
Yeah.
Because, like, you know, whatever you want to call it, code switching. Like, oh, you work for corporate, you know, so you sound white. I think gringo. My buddy Anibal, shout out to Anibal. He's probably never going to watch this, but I remember this is going way back. This is probably, I was 18 or 19. And I went to, UMass had a J. Crew, like, outlet at the Mullen Center. So it's like you go into the Mullen Center, walk around, it's just like J. Crew. Like,
I didn't know that.
This
is years ago. This is years ago. So I bought like a dope sweater, but it was like, you know those itchy wool sweaters? It was dope. And it had a matching beanie to go with it. So like here I am, you know, senior in high school wearing like my matching beanie and sweater. And so my name is Josue. So he would go, hey, Josh. What's up, Josh? How's it going, Josh? Like he just kept hitting me with that like white guy trope, whatever. Anyway, good times.
Josh.
First of all, J. Crew outlet.
Yeah.
Was that the only store there? J. Crew outlet?
It was like, here's the Mullen Center, here's the floor, and they had like literally just boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff. Like you could just rummage through it and buy whatever you wanted. Yeah.
Okay.
Again, we're talking like almost 20 years ago, you guys. So probably not going to see that these days.
Another thing to talk about this Puerto Rico situation that I've been seeing, and not a lot of people talking about, is all the people that have been living in Puerto Rico for tax benefits and how the hurricane hit and they're all just bounced. And like people are like really up in arms of it. Like, how do you come and enjoy and consider yourself Puerto Rican? Like Logan Paul was saying, I'm Puerto Rican because he has a house in Dorado and he lives there because he gets tax breaks and all that stuff. Yeah. But he actually lives there. Like a friend of mine saw him jogging there in Dorado, just casually. Anyways, but there's a lot of people that are living over there for tax benefits or vacation homes. And when the hurricane hit, they all dipped. Mm-hmm. So people were just like talking trash, like, how dare you.
To be fair, though, there was a like mass exodus of people from PR when Maria came around.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was like, why are we still here, y'all? Let's go to the States. And like, I kind of wonder like how much of an impact that had, like, both financially to the island, right? Because now all those dollars are gone, but also like just population, like it's less dense now. I don't know. I mean, I have no idea, right? Because it's an island, right? So it's very concentrated and dense anyway. But there was a lot of people that left.
Yeah. Well, Maria was terrible.
Yeah.
Like people were in shambles.
Nah, Maria was bad. Bro.
So like I get it. I get why someone would leave.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I understand why people are upset because you come to live here, and but I also understand like if a hurricane hit Massachusetts and I'm out of here. If I have the funds to I'm out. Like I live here, but like I'm trying to be okay. So like I get both sides of it. I guess the people of the island are upset because they feel that they're getting taken advantage of by these millionaires that have these beautiful homes.
Well, they are because they're just there for the tax benefits. They're not there for anything else. They're not there for the people or culture. They're just here because of the tax benefits.
Yeah, so they've been trashing all these, and they had a list of different celebrities that live there full time. Logan Paul's the only one that I knew.
What a beautiful human being. Anyway, so Jalissa, when were you in PR last?
We went in May of last year.
Oh, damn. So pretty recent. Okay. So what was, and you said you were in San Juan at least initially?
Yeah. So our hotel was in San Juan, and then we just woke up early every day and traveled. So my aunt lives in Sidra. We went to Aguadilla. We went to Dorado. We did, I can't think of what it's called, when you're hanging on a string. English is my second language.
Zipline,
it's hard for me. Yeah. There you go.
You did the real big one that goes over like the
forest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. My eyes were closed the whole time. Don't ask me how it went. I'm a baby.
Hey, you still did it though.
I did. My husband has a video of me like gripping with my entire life to the string. I asked a billion questions before I got on. And then my husband went alone like 3 years ago, and he did the entire coast.
Wow.
And he would like stop at food trucks and just like, he did the hike in the forest and like did a ton of stuff.
There's so much of PR I haven't seen, man.
Yeah, me too.
Like it makes me so sad to think about because I've only been 2 or 3 times. I can't even remember. And all the times that I went, it was like somewhat of an agenda. Like it wasn't like, grown ass Rick now who has a little bit more agency. You know what I mean? Like my kids are not little anymore, right? So it would be a different vibe if I went now, which hopefully I can get to go.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was going to ask was in reference to like the little food carts all over the place.
Yeah.
So the first time I went to PR, we have family over there. And so thankfully, like having family is so clutch because you get all the insider info that is not immediately available to tourists. And so I had I don't know where we were, but it was like a random little spot next to the ocean, of course. And I had a pionono for the first time. Changed my life, y'all. That shit changed my life.
So that's the thing. You can have this Puerto Rican food here, and then this Puerto Rican food.
There it is.
That part.
Yep.
Not Spanish food, okay? Puerto Rican food.
Clarify.
To add to that, even the Puerto Rican food in San Juan is different than the Puerto Rican food.
Oh yeah.
Outside of the food in San Juan, it's great compared to like here. It's good compared to here.
Sure.
But if you go just outside to Piñones,
Loisa, yes.
Loisa, you go.
Yep.
I'm telling you, like
Go
it
to the
hits.
folks.
My aunt has my uncle made her like a pit for her to cook outside.
Oh, yeah.
So when we went for the first time after Maria, she made a sancocho in the back.
Oh God! Listen,
I can't even describe. It was fucking delicious.
Yes.
Like I cannot even.
I remember one time going to my aunt's house. I just when I go to Puerto Rico, I don't tell family because it becomes a thing. I just show up.
Yeah.
That way, like they don't start making plans. Like I show up. So one time I showed up to my aunt's house and unannounced. This is the most like great Puerto Rican thing. She was like, ¿Quieres pollo y plátano? I'm like, yeah. So she went to the backyard. She got some plantains out of her yard. She said the chicken is fresh. They just picked it up in the morning. It tastes completely different. I'm like, oh, this is great. And she just made just regular fried chicken.
Life-changing. Dude.
With tostones. And she gave me jugo de acerola.
That's all you need, baby.
It was like a random Wednesday morning. Like 11.
Nothing better.
Well,
man.
dinner's cooked by like 11:30 over there.
Yes.
My aunt had her whole meal cooked by like 11:30.
What's up with that, by the way? Like that is a thing.
know how you could eat rice at 12 and at 5.
Yeah.
Like, make it make sense. I don't get it.
Rice is like, it's there a lot.
Yeah. It's just on deck 24/7.
Yes. Yes.
When I go visit Alexi, his mom has lunch ready.
Wait, time out. Is this Alexi who made the recommendation for you to go to that Chinese restaurant?
P.F. Chang's?
P.F. Chang's?
Yes.
Wow.
But his mom can cook.
Okay.
His mom,
Oh, no, she's certified.
she
Okay.
kills anything.
Mm.
Like, you give her just ground beef, can I get a hamburger?
Okay.
She kills it. Like, she's nasty. But anyways, she has lunch, like, done every morning. To the fact that, like, Alexi gets out of work during his break, goes home, eats, goes back to work.
Yeah.
Even the older son who lives in Sidra, they live in Loisa. He pulls up.
There's something to that. Like,
Damn, I don't even see that. Damn.
He lives up there.
Damn.
And he works in, I think, San Juan.
Wow, that's a
mission.
commute.
Little mission.
Yeah, he works night shift.
Okay.
So he pulls up to his mom's house to sleep so he can survive to go home.
Hey, it's nice to know people, man. It's nice to
Yes.
know people. Kind of help you get through the day.
And they bring that over here too. For work, I used to go to people's houses and like do ABA therapy. And so they, like my clients that would come from the island, they would have an entire 4-course meal
Spread.
done by 10:30. Like,
Yep.
it's early, like it's still breakfast.
And if you don't eat
you know what I'm
there, they
saying?
get
Like,
offended.
it's still
If you don't eat.
eggs.
Yes.
They do
It's
get
still
offended.
No, they
They get
have habichuela with
The heavy stuff.
The only thing they
Oh,
haven't
I'm
done is
eating.
fried the chicken yet, because then it's
Yes.
gonna get nasty.
Pero
No,
está
yes.
adobado. It's
Está adobado.
It's ready to go.
Say the word,
Está
I'll
en la
drop it.
nevera. There you go. ¿Tienes hambre?
¿Cuándo va a
No,
llegar?
I want pancakes.
And if you say you're not hungry, they're offended.
So, and I'm like, I literally can. It's against like my ethical code. Like I can't.
Yeah,
And they're like,
I'm eating.
no, aquí no.
Nope.
No, tú vas a comer. Tú tienes hambre. Do I? Okay. So then I have to eat.
Yeah, it's bad. It's something about that. Like, I know the black community. Like, there's a huge overlap here with what we're talking about.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just like, no, you better eat. You better eat, man. Don't say no. You know.
Yeah. I actually just came to the realization, I guess I ignored it, but the fact that I'm looking at all the food that us Puerto Ricans eat,
Mhm.
it's all struggle food. It's all like poor man's food. When you think about blood sausage, morcilla,
I'm gonna have to pass.
I don't eat that. That's nasty. I'm all set.
Yeah.
I eat it.
The first 4 inches of the caldero is foam.
Ugh.
So like, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm like? I
But
can't.
but that lets you know, like, that's just
Yeah.
struggle food. Like, they're like, oh, we got intestines left. Let's fill it with rice and blood. We're using everything. So you eat this?
There's probably not a food. Well, I'm not gonna lie. There's tofu and liver. That's the only 2
My
foods
mom
I
will
can't.
convert you. She makes the bomb
No.
liver soup.
Liver,
It is
when
so
I
good.
bite it, it's
It's
just
grainy.
like grainy.
It's
This
like
like,
sand.
what the hell is this? It's just
Yeah.
liver and tofu I can't do.
I get down with tofu. I mean, whatever. That's a whole separate
So
topic.
you eat everything, but I'm talking about, like, have you ever been like, Dad, I can go for a morcilla right now?
I mean, that's no. Let's
No,
put it that
but
way. No.
There's people that be like, oh,
If somebody comes, hey, have some morcillas here, I'll take one. But I wouldn't be like, yeah, let's order morcilla, guys. No, I would never do
maybe
that.
not that way, but like if you pull up to the restaurant and you're getting your food and they happen to have morcilla there, the same way you'll get an alcapurria if it's
No,
there. You would oh, dame una
right.
morcilla.
No.
Dame la última.
no,
La última.
no. Let's go with no. That's it.
All right. Why don't we do this? We're getting ready to wrap this little first segment up here, but let's wrap this up with a tier list, with a Fritura tier list.
Oof.
So top 5 ranked from 5 to 1. This is a collective list, y'all. So we gotta dial it in.
That work together.
Okay. So I'm gonna just casually name drop some frituras. All right. So we got alcapurrias.
I think that's number 1.
Okay. Shannon number 1. I wouldn't put it at number 1.
I wouldn't. No.
No.
It's like number 3.
What?
Whoa.
Yeah.
A juca alcapurria?
Okay. Take it easy.
So, okay, so we got alcapurrias. We got, I'm gonna say empanadas / pastelillos because
Yeah.
it's a heavy overlap there, and I don't want to get into that debate because that's a whole nother topic.
Yeah.
So let's just call it.
That is
Pastelillos.
I know.
Go
I
ahead.
know. All right. I know. I know. Fine, pastelillos. The fried kind, not like the
right.
pastry
Yeah,
kind.
the right,
Okay.
the right one.
Yes.
The right, okay. And then we got relleno de papa.
Yep.
That falls under fritura
Yeah,
category?
absolutely
Okay.
it
All right.
does.
Okay. How about
Bacalaíto.
Bacalaitos.
bacalitos?
say, yeah.
Ooh, okay.
Mhm.
So that's we got 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4.
It's 4.
It's 4. Okay. I'm gonna just keep saying them, and then we could weed them off the list. I'm thinking sorullitos with cheese.
They're there.
They're there, but I don't know that they qualify for the tier list.
You can't really find them at a restaurant. I feel like it has to be like specialized.
And they have to be fresh.
Yes.
There's too many variables. They're not even in the top 5.
yeah,
That's the
they're not,
problem.
it's
There's
not.
too many variables. But yes, they're there.
Would you put tostones on that list, even though it's a side like a French fry might be? You could have if you give me a bowl of tostones with some ajo and a little bit of mayo ketchup, I'll put that down. I'll take that as a meal.
Yeah.
I'll be happy.
I mean, I've never ordered it that way.
It's always a side, right?
It's always a side.
All right, so it doesn't.
But
If
I
you
will.
accept that, then you have to accept maduros.
Yeah.
I love
because-
maduros though.
yeah.
Yeah, I get that with maduros.
Yeah.
But again, a side though.
Yeah.
Maduros with some.
Yeah, we're
fried
gonna go
eggs.
with no. I don't think that's a fritura.
Okay.
And I know
I
thi-
get what you're saying, but I don't think that's a fritura.
I know this is not a fritura, but like pinchos. Where do you put that? It's not a fritura, but
Okay.
like if you're at the beach, they're selling empanadillas.
I mean, yeah, pinchos slap on the beach. You're not wrong. But I would call that an honorable mention. I don't know if it
Okay,
makes
that's fair.
I don't know if
What
it makes
about
the list.
the bocaditos?
What's that?
I don't
Oh,
eat
I
seafood,
don't like-
but yes,
The
those,
thing
one with the
those
little
are
claw on
popular.
it?
You know,
Oh, the God dang
with
it.
Does it have a
with
claw?
the fin
Yes.
hanging out.
Yeah, with the claw.
Yeah.
La-
I can't.
Yeah,
Bocaditos, right?
you
The claw.
so
You don't like those?
Okay, so first of all,
No,
like
they're
I
not
had a-
bocaditos.
I don't eat seafood, so I don't.
Oh,
I don't
damn.
like taking those.
What
I
are
know.
they
What
called?
I know what you're talking about.
God dang it. I know what they're I know what she's talking about. I don't know what they're
I just
called.
didn't like crabs growing up.
Boquita.
I love it.
slaps with.
I just know
Bacalao.
people call.
I might need to revisit that one.
Hold
I
on.
love
So wait,
those.
I'm curious if alcapurria is not number one. That's number one for me.
It is for me.
What's the number one for you guys?
Bacalaitos.
Damn.
Wow.
That's see, but the thing is, like quantity wise, you need like 4 bacalaitos or 1 mega bacalaito, right? Because you know how they're like very
Yeah,
thin.
it's all
Yeah.
masa.
It's masa,
Little
with-
pieces of
Yeah. It is mostly masa. You're not wrong.
Wow.
masa be hitting though.
It does. Though, doesn't it? Yeah, man.
Listen, not I'm getting out of time. I went to a spot in Puerto Rico.
Uh-huh.
It's called, I don't know what it's called. It's in I forgot where it is. I gotta figure it out. But they give you a pincho.
Mhm.
You can have it a couple ways. You can have the pincho dipped in bacalaito masa.
Oh my god. Oh my
You can
god.
have it dipped in alcapurria masa.
Let's stop doing that motion, but go ahead.
That's the
But
dip.
just-
That's the dip.
We get it.
Or amarillo. Amarillo.
Oh man.
So, okay, going back
But
to
back to the list.
yeah, because bacalaitos are delicious. I get it.
Yeah.
But alcapurrias,
Mm-hmm.
pastelillos, and relleno de papas,
Are the top three.
Those are- yeah.
To me, you're not touching those again.
So can
If-
rellenos be first? I don't
mind- I don't
never
mind
pick
that.
a-
I don't
never
mind that.
pick an alcapurria before, even a yuca one. I love
the
yuca.
yuca.
But like
Yuca was
even
it.
before a relleno de papa, I would never.
Damn.
I
Wow.
would never.
Damn.
This is unpopular opinion. I think relleno de papa for me would be last.
No, now you're getting crazy.
yeah. That's too much.
I
You're doing too
think
much.
for me it's because I'm a big crunchy guy, texture.
I like crunch.
So that's why I have
Fresh.
alcapurrias first, and then I say pastelillos, and then relleno de papa.
I might agree with your ordering so far, right? Unofficially, that's 1, 2, 3, and then we got 2 more slots.
This is not popular here, but you mentioned that piononos are a fritura in Puerto Rico. Like
Dude.
wherever
Right.
they have them there.
That's why I
Ready.
didn't mention them because like they're not super common around here.
But that's top tier.
It
I mean,
really-
yeah.
If it's there and I'm gonna put like I'm getting that with an alcapurria, give me both.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Let me get one of each.
Yeah.
What you got
Whoa,
there?
you might did something there. I kind of like that. Now, yes, I think for pioneros I didn't think they were fritura, to be honest with you.
Not really here. They're not common here, but everywhere you go in Puerto Rico, they'll have them.
They're
Okay.
always available.
I think it's
Yeah.
because they're like they're kind of involved to make.
Yeah, it takes a while. You gotta stick them with like
the toothpicks.
Toothpicks.
Yeah, somebody didn't warn me about the toothpicks the first time I had them. Yeah, I was ill prepared for that.
Wow.
The toothpicks are for stability, guys. So they put them in there to
They
hold
set
it
you
together.
up.
Yeah, they did. But it was delicious though.
Yeah.
So damn. All right. So
I agree with the top 3 there.
see, but Jalissa has like strong take
do.
on this
I
bacalito
do.
situation.
Yeah, they're delicious.
No,
have you
they
guys
are.
had? But
Yeah.
have you guys had like the right ones?
Of course.
Oh,
The ones
yes.
with the canto de bacalao inside?
Yeah.
Like
Look.
it makes a difference. You know what I'm saying?
I'm with you. Again, I like the crunch.
Listen, but a fresh bacalaito hits. But I don't
Of
think it hits.
course.
I don't think it hits as much as an alcapurria hits, like a fresh
Or
alcapurria.
pastelillo or relleno de papa. That's what I mean. It's just,
and then
yes.
the other thing, alcapurria, like bacalaito, you're just getting bacalaito. You can have alcapurria of ground beef. You can get a chicken.
Okay,
which
ground
is not-
Huellas,
it's
the
not-
huella ones is
Huellas, you can get corned beef, which is a lot of people
think
love
I've
it.
had that.
I'm all
Corned
set.
corned beef.
I'm all set.
Like the PR.
I haven't had a corned beef yet, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a thing.
It's interesting. Sounds interesting.
I'm all set, but
I'll try it.
the
Alright,
huellas is a
No,
is a
huella
big
is a
one.
staple.
Or even the empanadillas, same thing. They get
Yes.
crazy with their
I don't
empanadillas.
Oh, yeah.
see empanadillas. Keep it simple, man. Like for me, it's like beef or cheese or beef and cheese.
Really?
Those hits.
Chicken.
I don't like chicken that
I
much.
could
pass.
I could put it down, but I'm not a fan.
I can eat the pizza one. It has to be fresh though.
Oh,
Yeah.
pizza ones are it.
Pizza
It has
one-
to be fresh.
Okay, la empanada with a fat edge on it, with a big fat
I
chunky
can pass
roll.
on those.
See, I don't mind like the chewy like crispy
I like
edge.
the crisp.
I like.
Yeah.
I
not
want to
big.
break my teeth on a pastelillo, but if I'm having an empanadilla, right, which has got that little roll
fold.
on
Yeah,
it,
yeah, yeah.
give me a little bit of soft right there. I don't want that to be too crunchy.
I can pass on those. And you can get creative with the pastelillos because
Yeah, you really can.
I had a pastelón one.
Oh, wow.
Yum.
Oh, pastelillo de guayaba. Come on, dude.
Oh
There you go.
That's a different
That might be
conversation.
number
Yeah.
What are we
one.
talking about here?
Yep.
Pastelillos might be
With the
number
cheese
one
inside.
because of the
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
The diversity.
Yes.
No, I mean, exactly. It's like a
Yes.
Puerto Rican taco. You can put
Exactly.
anything in that.
Yeah.
mess. Wow.
Yep.
I had a Nutella one.
Why?
Again,
Nope.
yes. I don't
See,
know
but
about
yeah,
that one, to be
you go.
honest.
I had it.
Like, I thought about it. I was like,
I had it. It was good.
See, but is it a fritura
How
if
do
it's
you eat
dessert?
that?
Huh?
How do you eat it? Like, is it just Nutella inside?
The one I had it was Nutella and like either cream cheese or some
Yeah,
white.
give me something to soften
It
it
was,
up, because all that.
But they did it right though. It wasn't too much. It wasn't
with
like
cream cheese? Okay. I think I would mess with that.
yeah,
they set it up. It wasn't too much because I know what you're thinking.
Yeah, I know what
Intrigued.
you mean.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They didn't fill it up to the point that you're just getting a bite of just all
Oui.
Nutella.
Right.
Yeah.
That would have been, that
It
would have
was.
been too much.
It was.
you had
they
the
did
air
it,
pocket.
They did it proper. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't mind that.
They did it proper.
Man.
And it didn't melt too much. I think they froze it somehow, and then because I'm like, it was a thing.
Yo, I'll end with this. So tier list. This is a sloppy tier list, but we're gonna go with. I think we arrived at alcapurrias,
Majority rules.
majority rules.
I'm expensive.
Okay, number 2, pastelillos clearly seems
Yeah.
like it's a strong contender for number 2. Number 3 is sounding like it's gonna be either relleno de papa or bacalaitos.
I can go either.
I don't mind either. I can be sure. You know what? Let's give it to
Yeah, let's
give it to the bacalaitos. at
yes,
number 3.
bacalaitos.
And then we got relleno de papa number 4.
Yes.
Did I say that right? Okay, and then number 5.
everything else.
Yeah, I really don't care.
Fried chicken.
Yes.
Everything else. Number
Yeah.
5.
Yeah. All right. Well, this seems like a good spot to take a little break here, and we'll come back and talk about some more shenanigans.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
Why would I keep you around? Why would I keep
Yeah.
Because I wanted to ask you about that. Like post-COVID, what, like how that's been? Just because I'm curious. So
Fucking mess.
Yeah.
It's been a mess.
Yeah, I would
So
agree.
I left
Let's talk about it.
what I used to do. I left the in-home job because I just needed I needed to do something else. So I work at a school in Connecticut for kids with like severe problem behavior. So they're like wicked aggressive.
Yeah.
They've been moved out of their district. And so we basically put like heavy hitters all in one building. So it's something different every day, and I freaking love it. Like, it's my dream job. I love it.
Awesome.
Wow.
It's like intense and it's a lot, and we don't have enough paraprofessionals, and the behavior analysts were like firefighters, and we don't have any time for paperwork, and it's crazy, but I love it. So it's a mess right now.
Yeah.
But a lot of what happened, there was a lot of regression, at least with like, I primarily work with kids on the spectrum. So the lack of consistency of like therapy and kids that used to get like 15, 20 hours a week of ABA going to like 5 or 6, they lost a lot of skills. Cause like, especially like the younger kids that are in the 3 to 5 age range, like that's a critical time period for them to like pick up skill acquisition and pick up language and just like do a lot with modeling and imitation. And there's just like so many things like in a short window that we have to, especially if they were diagnosed later, that you have to like catch up on, that the pandemic really affected. It really, really affected them. And like, not to mention if parents come from Puerto Rico or the Dominican Republic or like other places where ABA is not a thing, and then they just find out about it here, their child just got diagnosed here, and they're like, where do I go? They don't speak the English language, so they don't have a lot of resources for like, don't get me started.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a loaded cannon.
Yeah.
Real quick, what's ABA?
It's applied behavior analysis.
Okay.
So I'm a board certified behavior analyst. So I work. So essentially, I could work with anyone, but my specific population is kids with autism.
You will love my school what I work at. I work at Legacy at Chestnut, and everything you just said is pretty much a copy of our school.
Cool.
We have I work with 8th grade. We have hard hitters, like hard hitters, and it's a public school, but it's the school you describe that's what our grade is.
Yeah.
It's just constant putting out fire. We go in there and it's like we become firefighters. It's just like fire. It's just putting out fires everywhere. Once you put one out, you put another one. Like you said, there's no time for data. Even though we have to input the data, it's like when? Because I'm just dealing with this, and I have 4 kids over here. The teacher just called me to deal with that, and it's just like constant. So
you're just moving around.
Yeah,
all day.
There is no. I sit down. I was like, "Hey, I need you over here." Oh, all right, got it. It's constantly.
It took me like 3 hours to use the bathroom today.
Yes,
because my teacher would be like, "All right, support," and I would have to go. I ended up in like a 7-minute restraint today. It was wild.
That's how it is.
Like, it was
yes.
7-minute restraint.
No, that's how it is. Whenever you hear, "Hey, we need support," you gotta go.
You have to drop your stuff. So we have like observation, which is like things might pop off. Support, things popped off. Stat, you need to drop what you're doing and run. So we get. Thankfully, we're not having as many stat calls because we're really trying, like the stat kids, we're really trying to like keep them at bay and implement antecedent strategy and like really kind of keep them.
Wow, this is so not strange, but like everything you're saying, that's what we're doing. We're working with tiers to make sure that the kids, the teachers work with the students and we don't get involved. So when it comes to that, what I'm noticing is, and for my job, is that when somebody calls out, oh God.
Like
we have to be fully staffed.
Yep.
If somebody calls out, it's somebody like,
we're not fully staffed. We're absolutely not. We're understaffed like times a billion. So we are doing work of paraprofessionals. We're doing work of teachers. And then the behavior analysts are the ones that respond to support calls anyway. So like when a para is having a hard time with a student, they call for support and we're the ones who show up. Yeah. And so it's bad enough when paras call out. If like a BA calls out, now we're like short a body that can go hands-on if needed. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of our kids are a lot like bigger and heavier and stronger. And so when we end up in a 7-minute restraint, it's not just me. It's me and like 4 other people, because that's how many people it takes to like take this kid down in fewer words. You know what I'm saying? And so like in order to keep them safe and me safe, like this particular student was engaging in severe self-injury. He kept taking his helmet off. So like, your helmet was supposed to keep you safe. You're not keeping your helmet on. I need to hold you for you to stay safe because you're gonna bash your head into something, and that's a lot of paperwork.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was a day.
God bless.
It was a day.
Bless.
Yes.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us once again. We took a little break there. We came back. We jumped right into it. I was curious because I know like I've read some statistics here and there about like post-COVID and how many kids like have been developmentally affected in terms of like their like the fall off from like having been, you know, remote schooled versus in school, and how dramatic of a shift that was for that young group of kids. And I'm sure that's going to have a very long tail on it that we're kind of yet to see, unfortunately. Hope, fingers crossed, you know, we can kind of somehow pick up the slack there. Not us specifically, but you find folks, I mean, tip of the hat to you guys for working with, you know, whatever stereotype you want to label. Like, I'm not trying to label them, but obviously, like, there's some folks who are unfortunately troubled, you know, who need a little bit extra help to get through. And most of the time, it's not their fault. You know, they grew up in a shitty environment, you know, and the unfortunate byproduct is what you guys have to deal with. So, God bless, man. That's a lot of work. The stuff I deal with is nowhere near as serious. You know, I get doctors, I don't want to say too much, but they get very cranky when they don't get their thing right away. You know, meanwhile, you guys are out here saving lives. Kind of literally. I mean, geez, you're trying to stop this kid from hurting himself. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's a big deal. How do you take that home?
I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Unpack that. If
I mean,
you don't
it's
mind.
different than. I hate talking about myself.
I'm sorry.
So no, it's fine.
Yeah.
So I used to work for DCF, and so that was hard to not take home. And then I got my master's in autism, and I was like, I need to do something different. And so I started working with kids on the spectrum, and I got my certification and got my license for mass. And that is different than to take home, because like you're teaching, you know, like I'm a teacher. Like, I'm definitely teaching kids functional communication and replacement skills for aggression or self-injury or, you know, whatever other maladaptive behavior they have. So that's a little easier to separate when I was doing like the in-home stuff. This is more like emotionally and physically draining, because I have to de-escalate you from seriously hurting yourself or hurting me. Like, when they're having aggression towards staff. Like, wow. I am in their immediate peripheral. And so I'm telling them something's not available, or I'm stopping them from banging their head on something, and they're going to aggress towards me. And like, the injuries that happen at my job are very real, like concussions and, you know, people out with broken bones, and like it can happen instantaneously. So it's a lot of adrenaline, which I didn't think I would do well with, because I'm a very like anxious person. But I love it. I don't know. It's very cliche. It's like, it's my dream job. I genuinely love it. I love the kids I work with. I love my students. I love what I do. I love like teaching people about behavior, and ABA is like everywhere in our society, and people just don't know what it is. Like, our laws are around it. Our behavior gets reinforced or punished, and we just don't know. It's just not called that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm a nerd, so let's.
No, I mean, I'm here for it. I mean, I you know, I knew that you guys would have at least a commonality there in terms of, you know, the stuff that you do, and the young kids that you work with as well, and the challenges that you see every day, whether it's, you know, parental support or lack thereof, or whether it's the students themselves and, you know, they're completely checked out or whatever. I'm sure, you know, like what are some of the, like, you dealing with this kind of stuff in terms of like kids just like going ham at each other? Like,
yeah, absolutely. So I just kind of break down kind of my day. It's in the morning. We do bad checks. So it's like the metal detector. That's me and somebody else checking bags. After that, 8:05, we go to our first class to make sure that the hallways are clear. Once we walk in and take that left, it's just a sea of kids in the hallway. So now our job is to make sure they're in their classrooms.
So they're just chilling, not going to class.
Right. It's because, you know, hey, you come in, you got to go right to class. Kids are like, yeah, right. So they're going to see their friends. They're going to talk in the hallway. It's this new thing that I don't get, that boys do to other boys. Use their finger and stick it up their butt.
Okay.
I know.
Oh, okay.
I know. Oh, I'm thinking they're going to get upset. No, they start like, hey, what are you doing? Ha. Keep walking like nothing. What is going on here?
Right.
I was kind of like, whoa, what are you guys doing? Oh, mister, yeah, these guys are blah, blah, they're always doing this. I was like, but you're okay with that? It's like, they're like nothing happened. It's like, hey, what are you doing? Stop doing that. You're blah, blah. And they keep walking like nothing.
Wow.
So that's the one thing I noticed. Two,
That's wild.
the other thing I notice a lot is boys hitting girls. I could not believe how much boys hit girls. Like they grab girls, they like hey, I have to scream, like, leave her alone. Like, what are you doing?
Wow.
They think that it's, oh, she hit me. I was like, what? So you decided to swing her. So that's another thing that shocked me, is that they have no problem hitting girls.
Damn.
No problem. And that completely is like, damn, this is crazy. Because they feel like she hit me, so I'm going to hit her.
Sidebar.
Mm-hmm.
I want to come back to, because we're not done with your day, but that when you bring that up, that specific point, right? Like when we get into like, machismo conversation that we had earlier, tradition, right? Man of the house, and the women stay home, right? There's a little bit of that old, I guess let's just use the blanket term of chivalry, right? A little bit of that, right? You're gonna take care of your lady, but as we've gotten away from that as a society, right? And I'm not saying it's okay for a man to hit a woman, right? But the lopsidedness that we've lived with, I'm trying to articulate this properly. Like, it seems like in modern day and age where there's less rules, we're really trying to go for like male-female equality. You could see like a justification for it. And I'm not saying it's okay. I just want to be very clear on that. But like, is the message diminishing, right? Because before it was like the sacred thing. It was like men never hit women, period. Period. But now it's like, well, I don't know. There's women out here that are trying to act like men. I'm not saying it's, I'm just devil's advocate.
Throw it out there.
Devil's advocate. Dave Chappelle, I saw him talking about this recently where he was, I don't know, some lady walked up to him, was saying hi, and then like a very masculine looking female walked up to him and was like, stop talking to my girl. And then whatever.
Stand up. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not saying it's okay, but I'm just, because it is shocking, right? Mm-hmm. That it seems like there's like why can't I hit girls? Mm-hmm. Which is crazy to say.
Yes. Sorry
to derail.
No. So that, and the biggest thing that we have going on is the complete lack of respect. These kids just don't respect anyone. Forget us, just the teachers that are trying to teach. Yeah. And when you have the kids saying F you, F this, suck my this, and it's just like the teacher's like, then they look at us, hey, I need you to help me out here, which we do, but it's like, they're gonna come back to your class. Yeah. We suspend them, detention, they're gonna come right back there. So what can we do? And the teachers look at us like, hey, you're supposed to help me and save me in a way.
Yeah.
I could only do so much. I can only have so many conversations. Mm-hmm. I can only have that kid apologize to the teacher, because after a while, they just know, yeah, what is it? What I gotta do? Okay, sorry, I'm sorry. What I gotta do? Go here, okay, here. It's like they know what they have to do, but they gotta do the same thing again the next day. And that's the part that it gets frustrating. That's the only part, because like I said, I love these kids. Mm-hmm. When you talk to them one-on-one, you go, wow, you're such a bright kid. But when you get around this one, you become this other person. And that's the part that is sad, because if that kid could be around other kids that will like to be on a path, that it could be, man, so many different things can happen to you. But if you're with this one and this one, you all of a sudden want to start acting up and be this bad guy, which I know you're not. And it happens a lot. There's so many followers in the school, man. It's so sad.
Social behaviorism is a thing.
It's it really is.
Social behavior, absolutely.
There's just one student. If he comes to school, every single kid will ask about him. Hey, is he here? He's here. Where is he? They have a magnet because he's the cool, tough guy, whatever. So whenever they see him, they start acting up. And I know it's because he's here. It's not because that's who they want to be.
He's like the cool kid.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to call him that, it's just the kids gravitate to him for whatever reason, and they start acting up. And it's difficult because you as a staff, and I don't want to keep talking about work because I deal with it enough. You as a staff, you want to be helpful to all these kids with everything that you have and be like, hey, and when you talk to them one-on-one, they are very receptive. But again, once they see that other person that they know, they stop listening to you and they go right to it. And that's the part that's frustrating. It's like, damn, I had them, but it's like, this kid has all of them.
Yeah.
just by him showing up, he has our attention. It's like, damn, that's
crazy.
Yeah.
And if that kid switched, and started walking the straight and narrow, so to speak, then everybody would probably follow along.
Yeah.
Oh man, that sounds so hard. That sounds so hard to deal with. I have so much respect for you guys for doing that because, unfortunately, for whatever reason, the U.S. really does not value and pay teachers the money that they're due. Quite frankly, specialists like yourself who are in there fighting the good fight for kids out there who are struggling. Like, I mean, I got 4 teens, 4 teens, adults, and it's like, I feel ill-prepared. I'm like, I don't feel like I should be a parent to these old-ass kids, you know what I mean? But here I am, hoping that I'm doing a good enough job. And to your point, like trying to right the wrongs that we grew up with and kind of carve out a new way. Because like we talked about last time, like if we can plant the seeds, right, with whoever we're with, whoever the people that we're influencing, enough that it has like ripple effect of positivity, then we're doing our job, right? Because I think, I don't think effort is in vain, right? You're planting these seeds with these kids, and granted, they might fight you on it, but like that stuff is slowly getting in there, So, shout out to you guys again for the work you put in. But switching gears, Shannon, what have you been listening to lately, man? Any hot new playlists? So we're getting into fall. You playing some jazz now? The leaves are falling.
A lot of John Legend.
Okay.
He just released an album.
Oh, did he really?
25 songs on it.
Damn word. Hang on, I'm gonna add that to my
It's
playlist.
aggressive. But
is it though?
I haven't gone through all of it. But he has some bangers on there.
John Legend. All right, let's see.
Right in time for the fall. It's like,
is it? It's literally called Legend. All right. Okay, shirtless album art. All right, John Legend. All right, we'll take a listen to that later. Maybe we'll talk about that. X, you have some thoughts?
So we spoke about this earlier. At first, I was with the 25 songs, but now that I think about it,
it's a lot.
It's too much because you want to find a certain tracks on the CD. 25 tracks too. That's
it's a lot of filler content.
Because I was telling Xander, I'm like, don't these artists have they have an obligation to their label, to release music? Why put 25 songs on one track? Could have fulfilled 2 albums.
If I'm not mistaken,
good.
I believe I heard this somewhere in a podcast. When it's a double album, it counts as 2 albums. That's what I don't know. I don't know the logistic of that, but I've heard of that.
That would make sense.
With the Joe Budden podcast, he was speaking about that.
Oh, you thought it was feeling you?
Let's not get any more clout. I get the thing is, if you put 2 albums, a double disc is considered as 2. I mean, sorry, if you do a double disc, consider 2 albums.
I love how you're saying double disc because you're really bringing me back to the double discs.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like a CD.
Yeah, you remember that?
You flip it. And
I mean, and that alone, it was an experience. For example, for me, I love sneakers. So whenever you get them, the box, the paper, everything that comes with it, I love all that. So when you used to get a CD, it was like you take the thing, you open it up,
see all the pictures,
the pictures, like all that was part of the CD. The credit, all that. So that, I get it. Things change.
Yeah, it should still have that.
But there's certain things that should not change, and that thing when it comes to music, that part, it tells a lot because you take the time to read who made this beat, who wrote this song. You did that there, right in there when you got the actual artwork and everything. And I think that's part of the whole experience of listening to music. Like, oh, this person wrote this, or this. To me, the biggest thing was who produced this. I used to know who produced this actually track because I was big on beats. So when I could see who produced it, I was like, oh, okay. Then I would see what else does he produce, and I would go from there. So I missed that part of the music.
You guys used to do that with cassettes, right? Because you guys are older.
Very funny.
8 tracks, LPs. Yeah, 8 tracks. I had some cassettes, bro. Don't even get
me too. I remember making mixtapes on
my
cassette,
mix
on the
cassettes
radio.
were
on the radio. Just the song's on.
Record.
My first cassette tape was Selena.
Wow.
Damn.
It was my sister's.
That's a good first one.
You know what? Let's not get away from Selena right away.
Oh, okay.
we just spoke earlier on about Bad Bunny having a class in San Diego State. I think Selena will probably be the right person
Absolutely.
to have because of everything that happened in her life, how she passed away, her music influence.
She crossed like she went from having like Spanish music, she crossed over to like English so flawlessly.
Yes.
Like it was like in her nature. Like she just kind of did it, and she took over this whole nother section during a time where music was so divided. Like it wasn't normal. Right. It wasn't the norm for that to happen. Right.
So when it comes to that, I think that's a person that, man, this lady did a lot for the music, and not only that music, Latino music, and cross borders. Because I remember people would hear that didn't speak Spanish words, bitty bitty bum bum, that song like nothing. You know, they love that song. So I was like, yeah, it's just when a song can do that, you don't know what the hell they're saying. That person should be, you know.
Yeah.
She's it.
I was young for the Selenas.
Yeah.
Selena. But I watched the movie. Was she passed in 96? 94?
I want to say yes, but I don't know for a fact.
So
it was 90s, but yeah.
So what I'm asking is, I don't remember the crossover. I just remember watching the movie. Yes, I remember listening to some of the songs. So my question is, 95. How much was it? 95?
95.
How much do you think that her movie elevated her story or career?
A lot.
But
I'm gonna let her.
Because to be honest, that's when I hear something. That's what I got. The movie, I was too young to remember like all the hits and stuff.
I will say that to the world and in the States, America. But to Latinos, we knew who she was.
True. Absolutely.
But when that movie came out, yes, I absolutely.
I think like across, like diversity wise, I think the movie definitely like made her known to like other cultures and stuff that maybe hadn't access to her music yet.
Yes.
But like who she was as an artist, I think that in like the Latino community, she was already so well known.
Yes.
Because her music, I don't know, it's like what you play on Christmas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's just, I don't know. And even like
no, she had hits, man.
Yeah.
She did
and even like ones that my favorite song from her is El Chico del Apartamento 512. I don't know why.
What
it's
a great
just
name.
My favorite song of hers. I remember replaying it on my cassette thing like all day. Was my favorite. I don't know why. But I don't even think that was in her movie.
Where do you think she would be had she not been murdered?
Man.
Oh my God. She would probably still be making bangers.
Probably. I was going to say she probably would have done like a song with Mark Anthony, kind of like La India did. You know what I'm saying? Like just some sort of collab stuff. But I mean, going back to the movie real quick though, I really think that it was elevated even more so, like kind of doubling down on the points we're making because J-Lo was the actress. Right, so I feel like you had star status on top of star status, both kind of like Hispanic culture icons or Latino icons, if you will, right? So I think it was like just doubling down on that power, and I really think that definitely, to your point, really elevated.
If I'm not mistaken, I think J-Lo's career was also elevated because of the movie.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I would agree with
absolutely.
that.
And she did a mediocre job.
Oh, she's never been a great actress.
She's not she's an absolutely wonderful dancer.
Yeah.
And then she's a singer. And then she's an actress.
and she's never gets old. I think that's her top trait. That's her top trait.
Yeah. Didn't she have? I mean, shout out to J-Lo's ass. But didn't she have? She wore like pads or something like that
in the movie.
I vaguely remember something about like the pants and it being padded. I could be wrong.
I don't remember any of that.
I don't remember.
We'll have to find the data for this.
Google fact that.
Yep,
yes.
We will.
Speaking of J-Lo, because I've heard recently from a comedian that J-Lo didn't give the right credit to In Living Color. Something about...
Oh, wow.
Now, let's be clear. Because I don't completely agree.
I need the,
yes.
I need the story. I don't know.
Okay. Corey Holcomb, he's a comedian. He was speaking about J-Lo in particular because, according to him, she doesn't give the right props to Damon Wayans. I believe the creator of that show was A Living Color. I forgot the name. It was a Wayans.
Was it Keenan?
Keenan. It was a Wayans brother. he just made it seem like if it wasn't for the Waynian brothers or the Living Color, J-Lo would not be where she's at.
Oh, because she was on the show.
Yes, she was. She was a dancer.
Yeah,
but I think J-Lo took off when Selena came off.
That's the first thing I remember, like her really.
Nobody really know J-Lo from A Living Color. Like only if you're a hardcore fan.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
So she was a dancer in the background, but again, nobody really knows that unless you're a hardcore A Living Color fan, which I was. But what really took off for J-Lo was that Selena movie. Like that's what put her in the map. So
2 years after?
Yep.
That was quick.
What is that?
Yeah, 2 years after. So Selena passed in 95, and 2 years later, the biopic
That's
Selena.
quick.
Yes.
That was pretty quick.
So that's where I think J-Lo
Capitalize on
boom,
that shit.
took
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
She does look a lot like her.
Oh, she
Fair
yeah.
enough.
Yeah,
Very much so.
Because even after that, she started releasing music. Because I remember 2000,
Yeah.
2001, she had the green dress.
Mhm.
2000, right? 2000.
Probably.
At the
That
VMAs.
sounds right.
Yeah, but that's when she was
Oh,
making
that
music.
green dress.
Do you remember now?
I remember. You said VMAs. I'm like,
Yeah, I
light
remember
bulb.
Yeah, and then that's when she released her. Yeah, she took off after that. She capitalized on that movie.
Then.
No, she did. Yeah, she really did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, whatever, man. Like, shout out to J-Lo. Hey, J-Lo, thanks for making that film for Selena and kind of elevating both of your careers simultaneously somehow. It worked out.
Everything for Selena's.
Selena. There was also, in my quick research here, there was also a TV series, if I'm not mistaken, also about Selena, which I think was
Oh,
a bit
on
more-
Netflix. I heard it was
more
trash.
recent. Yeah,
Have not seen it.
I didn't watch it.
I heard it was trash.
Yeah,
From like everyone that told me, like, oh, it's upset. People were like upset about it.
yeah.
The movie was pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Like her family,
The movie was
allegedly
good.
her family like
was a good movie.
a part of like the making of
Yeah.
it and like
They probably still
give it
played
some
on
facts.
VH1. That's what.
No,
that's,
it was. Yeah, no, it's a good movie.
That's how they always play on VH1. That and the
VH1.
Jackson 5.
Okay.
There's a lot of really good musicians and singers that like I enjoy listening to them sing, but sometimes they release music and I hate their music. I wish
What you mean? Like, unpack that a little bit.
like. Have you ever heard of Yebba?
I just know Yeba's Heartbreak from the Drake album.
The Yebba is a
all I
you know
know.
Yebba, right?
yes,
Yebba
this
is
the same
a
person.
I believe so.
Is it?
I don't. You know what? I'm gonna go with no.
Yebba's a
Just to say
phenomenal
no.
singer.
Yes, she's a singer.
Like I first saw her like on Instagram, whatever. Like top tier singer.
Okay.
Anyways, she just recently came out with an album that I enjoyed, but prior to that, the music she was coming out with, I'm like, I don't like it. I loved it when she was singing covers that she made her own, like a lot of people do on TikTok and Instagram. I wish more people did that, and like release it in an EP.
Right.
And I
Okay,
understand
yeah.
I understand the legality of behind why you can't do something like that, but I wish that would be like a normal thing. Because there's a lot of artists that or singers and stuff that they release stuff on. Like I wish I could listen to the longer version of this
Yeah.
because this person killed it in a minute and a half on TikTok.
Right.
So I have a theory when it comes to that type of music genre. Is because when it comes to rap, the biggest thing is you can't have a ghostwriter. You got to be the person that wrote this. X come from you, or else you get shunned. It's like, oh, this he's not real. He's not, a real lyricist. But when it comes to R&B singer, I think they need to have a team. I need to have.
Of writers.
You're the writer. You're the one that gets hits. You're the singer because you
Yep.
got the voice, and you're the producer, wherever it is. If you, the singer, I have a song here that it's very rare that they can get, like you said, a hit song that can come out. But when you have a writer that knows how to write hit songs, like
Babyface has entered the chat.
Babyface or Jermaine Dupri, which apparently I didn't think
Right.
he had wrote this many
Sleeper
songs.
agent.
Yeah, he wrote so many hits. I didn't know he wrote. So if you have a Jermaine Dupri song, more than likely you're gonna make a hit. But if you write your own song, like you're saying, because I have the same group, Mike Laurie. I'm not sure if you ever heard that group.
Rings a
It's
bell.
a YouTube group. It's not really a high mainstream group. But whenever they do covers, amazing covers. Amazing cover. When they do their own songs, I'm just like, what am I listening to this? I'm not what I'm listening to this.
I even like when they do covers of like I'm a heavy R&B guy, but when they do like a cover, there's just one guy. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's like Loyoso or something like that. He's from South Africa. He did a what's the song Iris?
Oh, by the Google Dolls?
Yes,
Yeah.
he did a cover to that, but he gave it like an R&B vibe.
Yes.
Clean. I'm like, this is
that sounds
dope.
interesting. I would
But
listen
like,
to that.
if you would think of like the music that he released, it would be a lot of R&B stuff. But I'm like, nah, let's go back to this Irish stuff. Like, this is completely off brand, but like you made it your own, and it's a banger.
That's the problem though with like your audience, right? Because like this is a classic case of I'm gonna go with the Eagles example again. Play Hotel California. I'm like, God damn it, I don't want to play it again. Like we always play this song. But it's like you want more of that thing that it was like, oh my God, like that is amazing. Like when you hear something so fresh and original, you're like, I want more of that. But not the same, but more of that. Like it's a conundrum.
It is. There's a lot of singers like that, like Mackenzie. She's nasty. She's nasty. She does a bunch of covers.
The TikTok girl?
Yeah. She's a bunch of covers. She kills it. I don't know if I would listen to a whole album of hers. Right. But I probably would, actually. If it's covers, I'm in there.
You know what this reminds me of battle rappers? They're great battle rappers. But you say, yo, make a hot song, make a rap song. They can't.
They can't.
It's so weird because like you have so much lyrics and vocabulary in your brain, but you can't make a song. You can't. And it happens a lot with a lot of battle rappers. It's like, man, I don't understand. I don't get it.
That's crazy.
But speaking of going back to your music, going to you, rather than top 5 hip hop, particularly hip hop artists, we'll take that a backseat for a second. Top 5 artists, period. It could be any genre.
Ooh, I like that.
Just artists. You'd be like a mood artist, like R&B, rap, country, whatever it is that gets you in the mood. So 5 artists that you have in your phone or iPod or whatever.
My husband is a big like rap guy.
Okay.
And so both him and his daughter. But Drake.
Okay.
I think he's like a good. I remember messaging you on Instagram and being like, "I'm so sorry I put a quote as my photo."
No, he does that. He does that.
He's just really good at that.
No, he does that. He is that guy.
Caption, IG captions music.
He's a caption god. Yes.
Yes. Sorry, please.
Kendrick Lamar. I think Kendrick Lamar is amazing. Like just his lyrics and his flow. I think he's just really good. Kanye West in the early 2000s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like before he was diagnosed and like unmedicated. I don't like metaphorically.
Raw Kanye.
He's just, that was terrible.
Pre-Kanye.
He was just so. I don't know. Like it. I don't know. He was just so good.
I understand what you're saying. It was
it was so good. College Dropout.
Yeah.
College Dropout. What is that? 3?
Yep.
My daughter recently got me into. I'm more of like a podcast person, so don't
That's
kill
okay.
me. But like I'm not like a huge music head. Lana Del Rey.
Okay.
Her voice is spectacular. I kind of feel you when you said like you love to hear them sing, but their music she's really sad and I don't have time for it. So like I love to hear her voice, but like go see a therapist.
Really? I love sad music. I don't know what it is. I love sad music.
I'm kind of with
like emo shit. I'm like, yeah. Anyways,
she loves it. No, she like loves it. And then I'm gonna have to bring it back to like early 2000s. I don't know. Green Day.
Ah, yes.
Green Day. That's a good variety.
Yeah.
Green Day rocks.
Yes.
Yeah. I can anything from them. I can turn it on. I did go through like a country phase when I was like really young. Me and my sister was like the only thing our dad would let us listen to, besides Christian music.
It's still just outside the line, but just they're still kind of Christian.
Yeah.
Those country folks
like Love Is
Jesus.
Fine. Yeah. So I kind of went through a country phase, but.
I love that. I love Rascal Flatts, Lady Antebellum.
I had all of
Rascal
Flats
Flatts
CDs.
was fire.
All of them.
The range, bro.
Yes.
Man.
Yeah.
Don't get me
like
going.
their new music, I'm a little disappointed, but like I can turn on any of their classics. Josh Turner, Lady Antebellum.
So imagine my excitement when these nice singers on TikTok would just do a Rascal Flatts song. It's like the combination.
So
it's like
Mm-hmm.
Rascal Flatts. Yeah, I had definitely. I never really liked like the country, like I'm sorry guys, I don't mean to stereotype, but like, I got a mob pick up today. Like, you know, there's a lot of like people love that shit. They really do, because it resounds so
Fires
heavily
them
with
up.
them.
Yep.
America.
But I really like I tend to lean more towards like the pop country.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
it's a little bit more palatable for me. Like
You love topical music?
Yes.
full circle, Shannon. Thank you. Well, this probably seems like a good spot to land the plane, you guys. Jalissa, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate you making the time tonight to join us on the couch. Where can people find you, Jalissa? On Instagram. I'll make sure
home.
Yeah, we'll put it right here.
Yeah, at home.
Instagram.
I'll be at home. Yeah, we'll link Jalissa's Instagram in the description, as we always do for all of our wonderful guests. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Appreciate the support. You can find us on anchor.fm/The Offbeat for the audio version of this podcast. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you smash that like button. Appreciate you guys. Peace out.
Peace.